It is wild at how much has changed since the Switch 2 launched. That $450 price tag is starting to look a little bit better right now. But for me, the big question about the Switch 2 has been a simple one. Is it actually good enough?
Honestly, no idea.
This is harder than I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, I was feeling confident for a minute, now I'm not.
Ain't no way.
There's a lot to dive into here. So we put together a little blind test to see, can you spot the difference?
So you will be playing on the Switch 2, a gaming laptop running a 5070,
Okay.
a PlayStation 5, and an Xbox Series S. So what you are trying to do is you are trying to identify the Switch 2. So you have 4 Xbox controllers in front of you, so you won't be able to tell just based on controller. All of the games will be running at the default native settings for the platform they're on.
Okay, so you haven't tweaked, you haven't like turned off?
I have not tweaked anything.
Okay,
I thought that would be the most fair because of the setup that we're using. Everything is downscaled to 1080p in this quad view.
Okay.
And the TV itself is capped at 60 FPS.
I would say I'm a gamer, but I don't know much about like technical gaming stuff, so this is gonna be a very like rudimentary analysis of what I'm seeing.
I am gonna be able to spot the Switch 2 easy mode because I have spent years watching Digital Foundry, and if that knowledge fails me now, I'll be deeply disappointed.
I have a Series S, so I'm familiar with that, but I literally only play Fortnite, so.
I do own a Switch 2. Now that being said, I've not played Cyberpunk on it.
I feel like I'm getting some tearing when I'm looking really fast, especially left and right. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it a bit. Oh, what is this frame rate? Definitely a slower experience, that's for sure.
All right, first one at the bottom. Just looking at this, I'm immediately saying this one is the Switch 2. I'm not locking in my answer yet, but oh no. Oh no.
Spoke too soon, maybe?
Yeah, okay, that's Switch 2.
Riley, you're a gamer, self-described gamer, you would say, right?
On occasion, I dabble. Top right is a little like stuttery almost. That's smooth. That's really smooth.
Do you think that you'd be able to tell a PC compared to a console because you mainly use a PC?
Like, probably not.
I do not play a lot of Cyberpunk, honestly. I use Cyberpunk almost exclusively for the like testing and whatnot.
Yeah, are these lights supposed to be flickering like that?
Sort of.
Like right here, it looks like it's maybe not loading fully, or like, is there a word for that? I don't know.
3 out of the 4 screens, you can definitely feel that you're hitting pretty close to, if not that 60 FPS.
Oh no. This top right one has a really awful frame rate. Especially compared to the first one I just played, this one is really, really awful, really slow.
I gotta say, Alex,
Yes?
this is tough.
I mean, if anything, that speaks volumes about the Switch 2 more than anything else.
This is a lot harder than the Mac.
Yeah.
Because that one was just like, yep, this looks bad.
Anyways, looking at the textures of the trash bags on this one, and I saw it in one of the other ones too, this one just kind of looks better. Yeah, wait, yeah. That one looks way better. Like reflections and stuff. I don't know what that means. That's different though.
Do you have a guess as to which the Switch 2 is?
Based on how bad that loading screen is on the top right, I'm guessing that this top right is the Switch 2.
Top right.
Top right is the Switch.
I think it's one of these two. I'm sort of leaning towards bottom right, but also again, I don't have daylight. I don't have daylight comparison.
Okay, I gotta be honest, I have no clue. I feel like the bottom right is the Switch 2.
I'm gonna say the top left one, just because it's the newest hardware and I think it would run the best there.
This is PS5, Switch 2, and then that's Series S.
I would believe that this is probably Switch 2.
I will say, you got the Switch 2 correct. You are correct about the Switch.
Okay.
You unfortunately got the Switch 2 part incorrectly. The top right is the Switch, the one that you thought was the worst.
No. I was trying to give Nintendo the benefit of the doubt here. I mean, maybe if you've never played the game before and you don't know that it's not supposed to look and feel like this.
You ever had a couple, like one too many adult pops, and suddenly your eyes don't match your vision? Like you look over and then suddenly your vision follows? That's what it feels like with the Switch 2.
You got the Switch 2 correct. It
Let's
is
go.
the upper right. That is correct.
Easy.
I think if anything, like
Like, I feel like that speaks pretty well to the Switch 2, because that was actually very tough, in my opinion.
Not too surprising to me, but I guess like it's really cool to see them all side by side and how like hard to tell it is.
I am very excited for you to do this. All right, so what you have in front of you are 4 consoles.
Okay.
We have the PlayStation 5,
PS5,
Switch 2,
Switch 2,
Xbox Series S,
Series S,
and a gaming laptop armed with a 5070.
Okay.
Great.
One of these looks like it's maybe not running as smoothly as the other ones, which maybe is a tell. Because if I remember right, Cyberpunk only runs at like 30 to 40 FPS, and I think it would run at 60 on everything else. So that's one of the obvious things, but let's just try it. So I'm gonna grab controller number 1, which is this one. Okay, I think this is Switch 2. Very obviously.
Immediately.
30 FPS. But let me try the other ones and see. So I'm now on bottom left. Oh yeah, 60 FPS makes an enormous difference. Okay, so that doesn't really narrow down what this platform is. So this is where it's gonna get a lot more difficult. Because it's easy, I think, to not notice frame rate. It's not easy to notice like the draw distance and some of the smaller things. Oh, top left visually looks sharper. This looks like a higher internal resolution. I'm just seeing more detail immediately, so I think this is probably PS5 or PC. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, wait, no, that's not right. No, this is, no. Okay, I've got something wrong here. This does not look as good. This looks, again, significantly softer. Maybe is this Series S and that's PS5? Oh, this is, okay, I was feeling confident for a minute, now I'm not at all.
Do you have a guess on any of the other 3?
Yes, okay, so if I was gonna put in my guesses right now, bottom right looks like Series S to me. Top left looks like PS5, not super confident, but I think it's PS5. Bottom left looks like game PC.
You are correct for the Switch 2. It is the top right.
Okay, cool.
So, you got 1 of the other 3 correct.
Whoa, no shit, really? Okay.
Yes, so, the top left.
Top left.
It's PS5.
Okay, so I was right about that.
Correct.
Are you trying to tell me that I got the Series S and the gaming 5070 gaming PC switched?
Correct. So the bottom left, the bottom left is Xbox Series S, and the
this
bottom
is PC? Dude, this looks worse. This is a really interesting test because I think it's one thing to think about like, oh, I've seen a Digital Foundry video. I know that this is running X or Y or Z. It's another thing to actually spend time and try these things. And I would guess that a number of people did not get this right.
That is correct. So absolutely 0 people got all 4 correct.
Good,
Nobody
okay.
got all 4 correct.
Excellent, I feel great about that. So out of 9, how many people got the Switch 2 right?
That would be, including you, 5 people.
Wow. So only roughly about half of people were actually able to tell the Switch 2 apart from the other consoles. Interesting. That's a really high hit rate on not being able to tell the difference. And I don't want to mean that in like a bad way. I think it should really go to show just how competent the Switch 2 is. Okay, so that was closer than I expected, but I think it should tell you something important. This handheld is punching above its weight class. I think it's really the story I want to talk about here. There are a few reasons why the Switch 2 is holding up better than the spec sheet would suggest. A lot of it comes from the NVIDIA tech inside. Outside of the big titles such as Cyberpunk, Star Wars Outlaws is probably the best example of what this hardware can actually do. Digital Foundry did an excellent breakdown of this, and what surprised me is that the game is actually running with ray tracing on the Switch 2, something that most first-party Nintendo titles aren't doing yet. And thanks to the DLSS upscaling, it not only looks pretty decent, but it also holds a fairly steady frame rate. This brings us to the closest console comparison to the Switch 2, the Xbox Series S. And honestly, it's not that far behind. In dock mode especially, the Switch 2 is delivering performance that's in the same ballpark as Microsoft's budget console. Well, previously budget console. Now that matters because the Series S, for better or worse, has become the baseline for current-gen third-party games. If Switch 2 can hit similar targets, then that says a lot about what kind of support this console is going to get going in the future. Which brings me to something that I didn't fully appreciate at launch: the price. When Nintendo announced $450 for the Switch 2, the reaction was not great. I mean, I was definitely one of the people saying, "Oh fuck, $450, oh no!" But here's the thing, in the last few months since launch, the handheld market has completely shifted in a way that I didn't see coming. The base ROG Xbox Ally is $600. The ROG Xbox Ally X is $1,000. The Legion Go 2, that starts at $1,100 and goes up to $1,350 if you want the top spec. Suddenly, $450 for a console that can play actual current gen games doesn't seem that unreasonable. It seems inevitable that we'll be looking at a $500 plus Switch 2 in the next year or so. I mean, not only has Sony raised the PS5 price this year, but Microsoft has upped the price of the Xbox twice. Then there's the Steam Deck. Now this might be the most interesting comparison because Valve basically created the modern PC handheld market. Before the Steam Deck, gaming handheld either meant Nintendo or some janky Windows device that got an hour of battery life if you were lucky. In my opinion, the Steam Deck OLED is still probably the best pure handheld gaming experience you can buy. Better screen than the Switch 2, and it's got pretty much your entire Steam library ready to go. But as always, it comes down to games. The Steam Deck doesn't have Mario, or Zelda, or Pokemon, or Metroid. I mean, there are ways to get Nintendo games running on a Steam Deck, but we're not gonna talk about that. And for a lot of people, those franchises alone justify buying a Switch 2. Nintendo isn't competing on specs, they're competing on software. They always have been. So full disclosure, I am recording this video before I've been able to fully review the new ROG Xbox Ally, but I'm gonna reserve some judgment until I really am able to test it. But here's the thing, Windows has been pretty atrocious on handhelds up until now. Microsoft is rolling out this new Xbox handheld experience that is supposed to fix a lot of the issues. But even if it is a big step forward, it's probably not going to be enough to overcome years of friction. At least not yet. And then there's the elephant in the room, Sony. Rumors are swirling about a PS6 portable supposedly targeting a Switch 2-like price point. If that's true, and of course that is a big if, it could completely change the conversation. Sony's got their own massive library of exclusives, and if they can deliver a true portable PlayStation experience at a competitive price, that's a serious threat. But that's also probably like 2 years away at minimum. The Switch 2 has the advantage of being here now, with games that you can play today, and a decent little roadmap of titles that are starting to come through. So here's where I'm at here at the end of 2025. The Switch 2 is holding up better than I thought. And more importantly, it's holding up better than the spec list would suggest. Nintendo made some smart bets here, betting on DLSS to help carry the visual load, betting that developers would support a platform that's in the same performance neighborhood as the Xbox Series S, betting that people would yet again value not only the hybrid form factor, but Nintendo's software over raw horsepower. And a few months in, those bets are looking pretty good. Will there be a Switch 2 OLED in a couple of years that's objectively better? Yeah, probably. Will Nintendo inevitably raise the price? Almost definitely. But if you're waiting for the perfect version of this console, you might just be waiting for a while. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed and ring-a-ling that ding-a-ling button. And let me know in the comments, do you have a Switch 2? And if you do you regret your decision? Or are you starting to feel like maybe this is actually a pretty decent deal after all? As for me, well, I'm still playing the Steam Deck for now.